Good day, everyone. This is just a continuation of what we have discussed last week regarding environmental ethics. And if during that time we were all confused, we were all challenged by the fact that what we might have chosen as our priorities might be wrong and is wrong for some, actually, this time we are going to be introduced to people, to theories, and to some laws that may distinction na siya kung what is expected from us, what is expected of us as citizens of a certain community. So, for example, we will have some example of international laws and national laws with which we will be covered by. And if kumbaga hindi siya masunod, may mga expected sanctions. So some of those laws you've already given during your pre-recorded activity. The statement here is actually talking about what we have discussed last time. So it delves with uh, the essence of philosophy. When we look at philosophy kasi, there are many specific viewpoints. And sometimes, most of the time, they are opposing viewpoints. That's why last time, whatever answers that you were given, gina-crumble, gina-argue ang inyong foundation. So this time, we will have less of that. And when we say kasi ethics, dapat that should be the one nga masunod because na-line up na kung ano ang mga do's and don'ts kumbaga, no? What is morally right or morally wrong and what is ethical or non-ethical. So now it will raise questions about our actions such as, for example, is it correct that we are altering or we are changing, we are destroying habitats for our own uh, to to suffice our needs. For example, in our situational nga ginhatag last time, the slash and burn gubon ta ang habitat of certain species for us to terraform the land for agriculture para sa food of human beings. So, mayroon siya essence nga human-centered or human ang ginabutang nyo sa top sang most significant nga organism. This is what it is. Utilizing and valuing. So, mayroon kita terms nga instrumental value or we only see a certain aspect or a certain part of the environment as useful if or as vital, as significant if may use siya sa aton, if useful siya for us. Okay? Or the intrinsic value or seeing uh, nature as significant on its own. Ang iya gid nga own intrinsic value. So traditionally, read here, traditionally human-centric views or the what we call the term anthropocentrism, ang human-centered, it is emphasized ang human interest only. But in the 1970s, with the emergence of environmental ethics, na-challenge na ni ang ginatawag nga anthropocentrism and ginpropose na ang intrinsic value of nature. It's not important just because we have use for it. This person is Rachel Carson. She wrote Silent Spring, and that book is entitled Silent Spring because ang iya ding is environmental impact of pesticides. So sa iya nga we read this in college and your seniors also have nga may environmental science nga subjects akon, ginpabasa ko man na sila and they created a book review about this. But in our case, siguro we'll not delve into it na lang because it will take a lot of time, and environmental ethics, Daan, is just one part of this special issues in ethics, no? So let's not, siguro kung basahon yung man ang Silent Spring, it's just an advanced reading, but not necessarily that it is required for the subject. So again, this is Rachel Carson. Next, si Lynn White. Nga gin-argue niya or gin-criticize niya ang Judeo-Christian nga tradition wherein gina-exploit lang naton ang nature or ang aton nga environment. Again, for human consumption. Next is Aldo Leopold. We will have a more in-depth talk about him later. Here is Richard Routley. Gin-argue niya ang anthropocentrism nga ginatawag also by finding intrinsic value for nature. Sila ni mga important people in environmental science. Oh, another is Joel Feinberg. Ginraise ang concern about non-human entities or animals and plants. All right. Okay, we have here deep ecology, a holistic perspective. It originated in Scandinavia. This person here is Spinoza, manang iyang name. And although si Baruch Spinoza is not explicitly philosopher for environment or ecological issues, ang iyang works gingamit sa iban nga scholar in philosophy, particularly ang iyang ethical framework, some modern environmental concerns. So they interpreted Spinoza's ideas in the context of ecology, wherein may ara si Spinoza nga pantheistic view, wherein Spinoza's pantheistic conception of God is synonymous with nature, and it can be seen as environmentally resonant. So, viewing the natural world as expression siya sang divine being, it might foster a sense of reverence and responsibility towards the environment. If we see environment as being, gin-create siya sang isa ka supreme being. And another aspect is the interconnectedness, wherein Spinoza emphasized the interconnectedness of all things. So as you can see in the illustration, the bee, kumbaga ang animals, insects, interconnected with how we take care of the plants, the flowering plants, etc., etc. And it's not just limited to this situation. This idea nga interconnectedness, it aligns with ecological thinking, which we recognize ang intricate nga web of relationship sa ecosystem. So it is understanding sang interdependence sang various elements of nature. And of course, if you view nature as interconnected, it could lead to an ethic of care and sustainability. Next, ethical theories, wherein you assess right and wrong. May aradaan ta nga ginatawag nga consequentialist. So, sa consequentialist theories, ga-focus sila sa outcome of an action, while sa deontological, it focuses on the action regardless of the consequences. So we will also be talking in depth about Peter Singer and together with Leopold later. So virtue ethics focuses on moral character traits, and biocentrism, it asserts equal intrinsic value for all individuals, not just human being. Okay? Next, sustainability. Sustainability, balancing present and future needs. If ubuson ta na tanan nga resources subong sa present, what will the future citizens use? Or ano ang mabilin para sa ila? So the concept of sustainability emerged during 1987 pa, emphasizing nga there is a need to meet subong ang current needs ta nga dapat hindi man ma-compromise ang future generation. Gin-introduce di ang ginatawag nga sustainable yield, wherein we treat ecosystems as ecological capital. So sustainability involves using natural resources wisely to ensure their continued productivity. Next, contemporary challenges confronting climate change, wherein may gitawag kita nga term nga degrowth. So they propose the term or the concept of degrowth as an alternative to constant economic expansion. Kay kung puro lang tatanan, kung ang ginatawag tatanan nga progress is buildings, cities, etc., what will be left from us or for us, and most especially for future generation. So dapat ano mga principles ng degrowth according to Climate Talk? Sustainability, circularity, kumbaga waste not, want not, cooperation, people and planet, not profit, useful production, sharing, local production, work-life balance, relational goods, and joie de vivre. So, joie de vivre, if I can't dance, I don't want to be part of your economy. So, kumbaga, if you are, if we are here on Earth, and we are, kumbaga, we are stewards or kita gid ang ka-inhabit sa Earth, and naga-star kita sa Earth, no? So, it means nga, dapat lipay man ta to be here sa Earth. Okay? So, it implies positive kag enthusiastic nga approach sa life, nga ma-savor nato ng moment or ma-enjoy naton ang resources. Okay? So it is often conveyed, it is often used nga para i-show, express ang sense of vitality, liveliness, kag love for life. No, mo na siya ang joie de vivre. No, it is a French phrase. Next, climate change and responsibility. Let's read. Climate change poses ethical concerns related to intergenerational justice and responsibility of current generation. Ang aton daw problema with this climate change is nga wala pa ta may ginahimo. Ang term naton di is inaction. No? May ara pa subong up until now 2023 na may ara pa kita sang denialism. Gina-deny ta pa nga wala climate change. No? If you acknowledge nga may climate change, very good. Kay it means that we are ready, we are prepared to do something about it. But not all actually naga-believe or naga-acknowledge nga may climate change. So, may ara pa sila sang denialism, climate denialism. And when we say inaction, because may denialism, wala may ginaobra. Okay? Alright. Next, truth and responsibility in a social world. May book ko tanong ipabasa sa inyo aside sa Silent Spring. It is the politics of the sustainable development goals. Kaso, 185 pages ni siya, but I have it here if you want. Kaya may ginatawag kita daan nga sa social world, bala may ginatawag kita nga terrestrial politics. No? Actually, hindi man na siya specific gid nga term ang terrestrial politics na ginatawag. It is just a term nga they can mean individual, bala may meaning sila each word. So, it's not necessarily nga may term gid tada sa may word gid nga may phrase gid nga terrestrial politics. Magsiling kada nga terrestrial, it simply means nga relating to Earth kag its inhabitants. And politics, of course, in a terrestrial context, it will encompass the various systems ng mga governance, ang mga ideologies, mga beliefs, and also mga policies nga naga-influence sa aton nga human beings kung paano kita maggawi sa Earth. So that's why nga may ginatawag kita ka term nga terrestrial politics. Although wala gid man siya sang specific nga political proponent or wala gid man sang movement, pero that's how we should understand that, no? So namin siya tani politics of sustainable development goals. But of course, it is it will be available kung gusto niyo magbasa, pero hindi siya required again. Okay? Next, animal ethics and species consideration. So, anong nakita niyo ti sa duwa ka illustration nga ni? Amo na yung ginhambal ta last time nga diin mo i-draw ang line. Nga okay say mo nga kanon mo ang manok pero hindi mo pagkanon ang rabbit. Something like that. So tanawa bala, human beings, actually tanawa man, lalaki, tapos ari ang babayi. Man gid daw ang sa babaw sang hierarchy of importance. So, may mga critics nga nag-highlight sang ginatawag nga speciesist anthropocentrism. Mas importante ang human beings other than sa tanan nga species. So, ginagamit ta ang nature or other species for our own gain. So, may ari ni nga may ara man nga mga tao nga naga-oppose diri nga dapat hindi man dapat kita gid ang most important, no? So here, resolving climate change is seen as crucial for sustainability and human dignity, also for other species man. Kay mambal kita nga dapat may sustainability kay para may gamiton pa ang future generations of human beings. No, para dire para sa mga naga-critic sang speciesist anthropocentrism, para sa tanan nga species ang future nga environment, not just for human beings. Let's read. Environmental ethics guides us in being caring custodians or stewards of the earth and its diverse life forms. It encourages us to treat nature with kindness and ensure fairness for all living things. All living things. Mapaplants, animals, or humans. As we consider the ethical aspects of our choices, the call to live in harmony with the earth becomes not just a goal, but a necessity. By making thoughtful decisions subong, and striving for fairness, nga fair lang dapat ang aton equal rights with among other species, we set a course for sustainable and ethically sound future para sa generations ahead. Okay? So, ato ba lang kagina sa climate change to, what's the hold up? Nga wala pa may ginahimo for it. Nga wala pa tagasugod subong. Alright, let's go na sa mga important people nga kinanglan ta storyahan as a continuation. So, first is si Peter Singer. Ang iyaya is utilitarian. Singer's utilitarian perspective is rooted in the principle of maximizing overall well-being. Kung ibutang mo siya sa context sang animal ethics, it means nga i-minimize ang suffering kag i-promote dapat ang happiness. Amo na bala nang yan utilitarian nga perspective, dapat happiness, no? Kag dapat kung may suffering gid man, dapat mas more ang happiness. Alright? That's why nga si Peter Singer, he is known nga advocate for human rights, effective altruism also, and global poverty reduction. or global poverty reduction, no? Production of more food para sa tawo na. Singer's work may included sa iya nga mga ginastadihan ang animal liberation and practical ethics. Kay utilitarian siya mo. Okay? And meron siya influence sa mga discussion on social justice kag bioethics. So, as you can see here sa iyang example, um, factory farming. Okay? So, ang conditions kuno dapat sa mga factory farms it often involves sa mga overcrowded spaces, mga mahigko unsanitary condition, and also practices like ang mga de-beak, ginakuan mo siyang beak or tail docking, for example, mga chickens or kung ano man nada, nga mga nga mga, what's the term for that? Ang mga livestock, no? Kung amo na daw ang condition sa mga factory farms, sa mga livestock, dapat hindi naton pag-i-treat sang sang without respect na bala, no? Ang mga livestock or animals that are used for food. So naka-influence siya sa mga laws and regulation para ma-address ang amo nga issue. So here are sample laws for the international, ang European Union Directive on Animal Welfare. The directive sets standards for welfare of farm animals or mga livestock, including dapat may housing, provisions para sa housing, para sa feeding, kag veterinary care man ang farm animals. Para naman sa Philippine Animal Welfare Act or the RA 8485, para man sa para sa mga animals naton, no? Diri sa Pilipinas. May mo man kita nga counterpart. So kung ma-violate mo ang RA 8485, pwede ka nga may fines, imprisonment, or both. Depende kung gaano ka intense ang imong violation. Next is Tom Reagan. Animal rights man siya. Ang example ta kagina kay Peter Singer is for animals man, but ang overall example lang to ya. Overall abi iya nga concept no sa iya nga study. Ang kay Tom Reagan is specific for animal rights. So gin-argue niya for may ara siya nga pagpati nga may inherent rights man ang animals, positing that they have the right to be treated with respect and not used as mere means to human ends or kalanon lang or galamiton lang para sa farm, like ang mga baka o mga karbaw nga ginagamit sa farms for agriculture. Example lang. Ang iyang example di is the animals used in entertainment. So Reagan would argue against circuses na kontraya gitna or mga marine parks. So how do you feel about that kung kamuguro kung yayain kamo sa marine parks na to see dolphins na nga naga-show or to see seals nga naga-show for us? Para sa iyaya, it is offensive gidya kay gina-exploit nila ang animals para sa entertainment lang sang tawo. Na gina-infringe daw naton ang animal rights. And again, Animal Welfare Act for UK, and again, nagwa naman what si 8485. Going back, tanawa balaw. This law includes provisions recognizing animals as sentient beings and prohibits causing unnecessary suffering. Na kay may innate nga right para sa iya ang animals. Next is Paul Taylor on biocentrism. Taylor's biocentric perspective extends intrinsic value kag moral consideration sa entire nga ecosystem, emphasizing nga may interconnectedness of all living things. So based again siya kay Spinoza. Ang iya nga example here, deforestation kag may araman kita sang water pollution. For deforestation, biocentrism critiques activities that harm entire ecosystem, and laws may regulate logging practices to minimize ecological disruption. And also, look at the picture for the water pollution. Ara siya sa tubig na may basura. Who knows how many germs there are? Pero tanaw bala ba yan? May toothbrush. So we don't see the connection kung ano gid man bala ang dulot sini sa aton nga health. No, may time pa siya mag-toothbrush pero ara siya nagalublob sa tubig nga mahigko. So, example laws for that here. For water pollution, the Clean Water Act from US and Philippine Clean Water Act man, which is the RA 9275. So both naga-impose sila sang fine kag imprisonment kung naga-discharge ka sang pollutant sa tubig. Fair. Next, nakita tani siya kanina sa intro, si Aldo Leopold, ang iyaya is land ethic. Let's read. Leopold's land ethic emphasizes a broader ethical framework that includes the land, ecosystems, and the relationship between them. So, may ara kita dapat sang sense of responsibility and ang ginhambal the last time nga stewardship, no? Regarding sa land. Kay, diri kita ga-start. Okay? Are, nagwa si Cynthia Villar. Charot. Ang example is the urbanization impact sa wildlife habitats. So, Leopold's land ethic would encourage sustainable urban planning to minimize disruptions to natural habitats. Kung may makita ka mo nga mga sa mga first world countries, naga-blend na iya ang wildlife with the urban cities, no? Unlike sa aton, signs of a city development is if damo buildings, damo salakyan, etc., etc. But for them, if may ara sang balance between urbanization and ang impact niya sa wildlife. Okay? Amo na gani, so mo gina-practice na naton nga biskan we are a city gid bala. Ginabutangan na ta sa mga greeneries. Okay? Kaya dapat may balance of urbanization kag greeneries. Okay? Kag hindi man ta dapat makaapekto sa wildlife. So for example, ang aton nga estuary, ang Iloilo City estuary, gintam na mangroves and ginbutangan sa mga fingerlings halin sa SIFDEC. Okay? Alright. Example laws, National Environmental Policy Act sang US, wherein this law requires federal agencies to assess and consider the environmental impacts of their actions. For example, mapatindog sila sang amo nga factory. So, come into the picture si National Environment Policy Act. Kung ano ang effect sa amo nga ipatindog mga establishment or structure sa environment. Next is Philippine Environmental Impact Statement System or the PD 1586, wherein the same ang ilang nga function, i-assess nila ang environmental impact sang mga bag-o pa lang obrahon nga establishments, buildings na etc. etc. or ang human actions mismo. So that's it. Both have penalties or sanctions, fines, imprisonment, or both. So, okay, this is the last slide, I think, yes. Ang isa ka country, mabalaan mo kung may care gid man siya or may respect gid man siya sa environment depende sa iya nga legal frameworks. Makita mo ang pag-care sang isa ka country or sang mga government officials kung pag-care nila, pag-respect nila sa environment, kung ano nga mga laws ang ginapasa nila. Ang mga example na gin-show naton, ginapakita kung ano mga ethical viewpoints nga applied na siya and ongoing siya nga gin-apply sa mga actual circumstances. And also how, as you can see here, how both national and international laws seek to address and control actions that have an adverse effect on animals and the environment. Paano nagagiho ang government? The legal frameworks reflect a societal commitment to ethical considerations in human interactions with the natural world. Important gid ni siya tani o ang aton nga statement here for election, no? Hopefully those that have been elected, they have a care for the environment. So that's it for the continuation of our environmental ethics topic.